Hello, and welcome to Zroxed. When you think about serial killer movies, the obvious ones that come to your mind are
She wouldn't even harm a fly.
Saw you with the box. What was in the box? In the box.
Liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Thank you. Thank you for breakfast.
But today let's find out about the lesser-known English-language serial killer movies that you might not have watched but need to.
I never make a plan, like a comet shooting across the sky. Just happens.
The Minus Man is a 1999 psychological drama starring Owen Wilson as Van Siegert, a benign drifter who is actually a serial killer. This is not your conventional thriller but more of a character study, and may not be everyone's cup of tea. But if you like slow, subtle movies or are a fan of Mr. Wilson, then you just might enjoy this.
Why?
I've been clinically diagnosed with sociopathy, Rob.
I Am Not a Serial Killer is a 2016 thriller about a small-town teenager named John with sociopathic tendencies. Struggling to control his dark impulses, John discovers that a supernatural serial killer is preying on his community. Determined to stop the killer, John must face his own inner demons while battling the monstrous threat in this unique slow burner.
Interested in how many times you felt it was necessary to say the word normal.
Sorry to interrupt your meeting.
Ever heard of self-help groups for serial killers? What would you do if you accidentally stumble into one? That is what happens to Joel, an 80s horror film critic, in this 2020 goofy, gory horror comedy called Vicious Fun. Initially, Joel tries to blend in the self-help group, but when the killers discover his real identity, he is left with no other option but to use his knowledge of horror movies to survive the night in this little gem of a film. This movie's cool retro synth soundtrack deserves a special mention too.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Why? I'm parched.
Hey, love. Do you want a lift? Oh, are you sure? Yeah, let's jump in.
Loosely based on a true story, Hounds of Love is a 2016 psychological thriller set in 1980s Australia. It centers on Vicky, a teenager abducted by a married serial killer couple. The captured Vicky attempts to exploit the cracks in her captor's relationship to escape in this grim and graphic movie.
I mean, you know that they have a commodity that you want.
The Frozen Ground is a 2013 police procedural based on the true story of Alaska State Trooper Jack Holcomb's pursuit of serial killer Robert Hansen. The latter portrayed brilliantly by John Cusack. The film follows Holcomb, played by Nicolas Cage, in a surprisingly restrained performance as he works with a surviving victim to gather evidence and bring Hansen to justice. Shot beautifully, this cat and mouse thriller will keep you on the edge of your seat.
I want a warrant. Now.
We got God over here on this side, and we got a sex-crazed monkey over here on this side. You with me so far, bud? Not really.
The Clovehitch Killer is a psychological thriller starring Dylan McDermott and Charlie Plummer. The movie follows a teenager, Tyler Burnside, who begins to suspect that his seemingly perfect father might be the notorious Clovehitch Killer, responsible for a series of unsolved murders in their small town. As Tyler investigates, he uncovers dark family secrets and faces the terrifying possibility that his father is a serial killer in this intriguing film.
I don't think he stopped killing.
But he has stopped.
Serial killers can't stop.
I heard a scream. Not very loud, kind of muffled, but I could tell it came from the park. I jumped up and I went to the window.
Which window?
The bedroom window.
The Bedroom Window is a 1987 thriller starring Steve Guttenberg as Terry Lambert, who is having an affair with his boss's wife, Sylvia. When Sylvia witnesses an assault from his apartment but refuses to go to the police for the fear of revealing their affair, Terry pretends to be the witness instead. But this lie backfires on him, leaving him to deal with its many consequences. Directed by Curtis Hanson, who went on to make L.A. Confidential and Wonder Boys, The Bedroom Window is a homage to Hitchcock's movies and would appeal to his fans. The film also stars Elizabeth McGovern, Isabel Huppert, and notably Brad Greenquist as the sinister villain.
You're either a romantic fool or you're an idiot. I don't know what Amanda's been telling you or what.
I don't think you appreciate the seriousness of this conversation. God damn it!
Joaquin Phoenix stars as Clay, a small-town mechanic who gets caught up in a series of murders after his friend commits suicide and frames him in this 1998 unique dark comedy thriller named Clay Pigeons. As Clay tries to conceal his friend's death, he becomes the prime suspect in other killings. The film also has excellent performances from Janeane Garofalo as the FBI agent and Vince Vaughn as the mad, loud, colorful cowboy, Lester Long.
This music is driving me crazy.
Country can be kind of an acquired taste.
Still don't. Scotch is an acquired taste.
Well, drink enough of the scotch, you might learn to like the country western music scene.
Do you have any questions for me, Jerry?
There's a girl. I like her.
Before he conquered the world in a red rubber suit, Ryan Reynolds starred in this 2014 dark comedy thriller as Jerry, a factory worker with a troubled past. When he stops taking his medication, he begins to hear his pets talking to him, which results in a series of murders. While his cat urges him to commit violent acts, his dog tries to keep him on a moral path. The film also stars Anna Kendrick and Gemma Arterton, but it's Reynolds who steals the show with one of his best performances to date as Jerry, while also voicing all the animal parts.
Either because you disgust her.
Shush.
Yeah, shut up, cat.
Oh, that's not a bad district, is it?
It's not bad.
Come on. Yes?
10 Rillington Place is a 1971 crime drama based on true events, detailing the murders committed by John Christie in his London flat in the 1940s and 1950s. Richard Attenborough is excellent as the creepy and manipulative Christie. He is ably supported by Judy Geeson and John Hurt in this grim, atmospheric thriller. The film also gives us a peek into the socio-economic conditions of England of those times. The actual case led to the abolition of death penalty in England.
You knew all about it, didn't you?
Of course I knew about it.
You're an accessory before the act.
Serial killers are not a 20th century invention, but we seem to be spawning them in ever greater numbers.
Copycat is a 1995 psychological thriller starring Sigourney Weaver, who plays an agoraphobic criminal psychologist, and Holly Hunter, who plays the lead detective. The duo team up to track down a serial killer who is mimicking famous murderers from the past, while also battling their own traumas in this suspenseful and stylish feature film. The film also features Harry Connick Jr.
Why is that computer turned off? Because I turned it off. Get to that. I believe I can. But would you like me to turn it back on?
Yeah.
A serial killer who only targets disabled women he deems to be imperfect. That is the premise of the film The Spiral Staircase. Dorothy McGuire stars in this 1946 movie as a mute woman working in a remote mansion who becomes the target of the serial killer. As a storm isolates the house one evening, she must overcome her fears to uncover the murderer's identity and survive the night in this atmospheric and suspenseful movie. This film had a subpar 1975 remake.
It was him! Carlton, you're a bad dog.
When a moment comes, you either do the right thing or wrong.
And when do you know when your moment comes?
Fallen is a 1998 supernatural thriller where Denzel Washington's character Detective John Hobbs witnesses the execution of a serial killer, Edgar Reese. After Reese's death, new murders mimic his style, leading Hobbs to discover that there could be a supernatural force behind it. Along with Washington, the movie has a stacked star cast featuring the likes of John Goodman, Donald Sunderland, and James Gandolfini, to name a few.
They can be killed.
By the right person.
Well, who's the right person?
This is religion, Mr. Hobbs. These are matters of fate and divine order. The right man...
Or woman.
Yes.
Set up a Strangler Bureau.
I'm not even remotely qualified for this kind of thing.
You want the stranglings to go on?
That's not fair.
The Boston Strangler is a 1968 crime drama that tells the true story of the notorious serial killer who terrorized Boston in the early 1960s. The movie focuses on the police investigation led by Detective John Bottomley, a role portrayed by Henry Fonda. The movie also features a brilliant performance by Tony Curtis in an otherwise unglamorous role in this stylishly shot film.
Hello?
Is this May?
This is she.
How are you tonight, May?
Oh, it's you. I'm fine. I didn't recognize your voice.
Why not?
Sergeant.
Have a nice evening.
Over the years, HBO has produced several fine original films, and Citizen X comfortably ranks near the top in that collection. This 1995 movie is based on the true story of Soviet serial killer Andrei Chikatilo. The film, set in the 1980s and early 1990s Soviet Union, follows forensic specialist Viktor Burakov as he struggles against bureaucratic obstacles and political interferences to catch the elusive murderer who killed over 50 women and children. Packed with powerful performances from Stephen Ray, Donald Sutherland, and Jeffrey DeMunn, this is one of the best serial killer movies out there. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please like and subscribe.